Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I decided, and I've already done this before, but it's been probably a year, and obviously frauditors are still very confused on what Poster 7 says, what it means, and what the public forums are. So I thought I would just make a educational video and go through Poster 7 and the public forums. I don't understand why it's so hard for them to get this. Either they don't comprehend it themselves when they're reading Poster 7, or they know exactly what it says. They just don't want their viewers to know and understand what it really means, because then it completely ruins their narrative. So I thought, okay, let's just do this again. I may even do this once a year, who knows, because we do have new frauditors popping up all the time. Anyways, enjoy the video. So I'm pretty sure that you guys all know what this document here is. If you said that it is Poster 7, you are 100% correct. However, if you are a frauditor, you don't quite comprehend what it actually means. Okay, so the first thing we're going to go over is the photographs for news, advertising, or commercial purposes. This is where frauditors tend to all flock to when they get to Poster 7, and they all seem to not understand the meaning of it. It states, photographs for news purposes may be taken in entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, or auditoriums when used for public meetings, except where prohibited by official signs or security force personnel or other authorized personnel or a federal court order or rule. Other photographs may be taken only with the permission of the local postmaster or installation head. So let's break this down. It says photographs for news purposes may be taken in entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, or auditoriums when used for public meetings. So, in other words, when a public meeting is scheduled and is actively going on, you may take photographs for news purposes. Now, remember, frauditors all claim they're journalists and they're reporting on a news story, so it's for news. And because they get paid for it on YouTube, it's also commercial purposes. Okay, so let's continue this. Where it says for public meetings, except where prohibited by official signs or security force personnel or other authorized personnel or a federal court order to rule. What that means is when there is a public meeting going on in the post office and they specifically state no photography and no recording, then again, you can't record and you cannot take photographs. This whole first part of this section of Poster 7 is talking about when there are public meetings taking place in the post office. That's all of that. Where the frauditors fall under are other photographs may be taken only with the permission of the local postmaster or installation head. So if you're just going in there all willy-nilly wanting to record, then you have to get permission from the local postmaster or installation head. You can't just go in there and record. So let's do an example here. Okay, your local post office puts up signs or whatever saying, hey, we're going to have a local meeting Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. We're going to talk to the public and see how we can better serve you with your mail. You can actually go there at that point and record and photograph for news purposes, as long as there's nothing that states, no signs that say no recording or photographs during meeting. There's no security force there saying, nope, sorry, can't do that, not during the meeting. That's what this entire section means until you get to the other photographs portion. Again, the portion of it that revolves around anybody that has nothing to do with a public meeting that has already been scheduled by the post office, that's where you fall under. That's a frauditor. That's just a regular citizen going in and wanting to record. That part right there. Other photographs may be taken only with the permission of the local postmaster or installation head. So until you get that, you do not have permission to record inside of the post office. So this next portion of poster 7 that I'm going to go over, I don't think I've gone over it before in any other video that I've done about poster 7. But before we go over it, I do want to show you a quick example of what it is.
Shut up. We're not doing anything illegal. We're working.
Nobody cares about anything illegal. You're being a
No, nobody cares about your opinion.
Shut the fuck up and get out of here.
Are you a racist? You're making fun of my accent. You're making fun of my accent. You're making fun of my accent.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, you get out of here.
Every single person.
No, you're annoying.
Nobody here disagrees with me. You're a fucking
Nobody. Well, they can
Get the
all
fuck
move to
outta
North
here.
Korea. No, you get out of here.
North Korea?
Yeah, you don't like America? Move. We have freedoms
I
here.
don't have a problem with America. I have a problem with fucking loud, obnoxious, childish douchebags.
Oh, okay. Well, that's your opinion. That's fine. And I have a problem with steroid tyrant mother you.
See, all he's doing is tyrant.
Yeah, you're being a tyrant.
You are a fucking coward. You're a little social justice bitch.
Yeah. And what are you gonna do about it? Nothing.
And now this brings us to specific restrictions, disturbances. And we all know that 98% of frauditors who go into the post office or any other government building recording always cause some kind of public disturbance. What is a disturbance? Disorderly conduct or conduct that creates loud and unusual noise or which impedes entrance to or departure from post offices or otherwise obstructs the usual use of entrances, foyers, corridors, offices, elevators, stairways, and parking lots, or which otherwise tends to impede or disturb the public or employees in the performance of their duties, or which otherwise impedes or disturbs the general public in transacting business or obtaining the services provided on postal service property, is prohibited. So yes, 9 times out of 10, if a frauditor is arrested at the post office, it's generally not always because of recording, but it's because of disturbances. Because once they're told, hey, you can't record in here, that's when they become little butthurt man children. And they pop off, like Asamo did there. And in every video Asamo does, he pops off like that and causes a public disturbance. It's just ridiculous the way that they behave anytime they're told, you can't record or you can't do that. It's like they were never told no growing up. So basically the bottom line here is basically what we've all been saying all of this time is that they're not always arrested just for filming. It's their behavior when they're told they cannot record, or their behavior as they're recording, because they go in and they think that, hey, I can do whatever I want. I have this right, that right. I have the Constitution on my side. But in reality, that's all they care about is themselves. They care about their rights, what they can think that they can do. They don't care about your rights. They don't care about the people that are in the post office. They don't care about their rights, their First Amendment speech. They don't care. And that's a problem. Now this next and final section of poster 7 that I am going to go over, I'm only going over it because I did see a frauditor actually point to it when they were showing poster 7 to show that they are allowed to record within the post office. I'm still unsure why they pointed to this and circled it with their finger, because it literally has nothing to do with recording inside of the post office. I had to break it up in 3 sections because it's a long part on poster 7. But it starts out with inspection, recording presence. Purses, briefcases, and other containers brought into while on or being removed from the property are subject to inspection. However, items brought directly to a post office facility's customer mailing acceptance area and deposited in the mail are not subject to inspection, except as provided by the Administrative Support Manual, Section 274. A person arrested for violation of this section may be searched incident to that arrest. Vehicles and their contents brought into while on or being removed from restricted non-public areas are subject to inspection. A prominently displayed sign shall advise in advance that vehicles and their contents are subject to inspection when entering the restricted non-public area, while in the confines of the area or when leaving the area. persons entering these areas who object and refuse to consent to the inspection of the vehicle, its contents, or both may be denied entry. After entering the area without objection, consent shall be implied. A full search of a person and any vehicle driven or occupied by the person may accompany an arrest. Except as otherwise ordered, properties must be closed to the public after normal business hours. Properties also may be closed to the public in emergency situations and at such times as may be necessary for the orderly conduct of business. Admission to properties, when closed to the public, may be limited to authorized individuals who may be required to sign the register and display identification when requested by security force personnel or other authorized individuals. Again, I'm not quite sure why she circled this part with her finger, indicating, hey, I can record in here, because this has nothing to do with that whatsoever. Okay, I'm not going to get into the different forums in this video, but I do want to point out just a couple things, especially with, we just covered the post office. Now we're going to talk about the courthouse for just a moment. There may be times when the court has to deal with demonstrators or with spectators or parties or even lawyers who wish to express a political view, either through speaking or expressive conduct. First Amendment free speech issues arise whenever the government, including a court, attempts to place restrictions on expression. The degree of protection depends on the place where the expression is attempted. Courtrooms and courthouses generally are places where free speech may be restricted. That is a huge thing, because frauditors seem to think they can just walk into a courthouse, say this is a public building, and I can use my free speech, I can record, I can use the First Amendment, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? They can't. If they have a restriction on it, then there's a restriction on it. And if you continue to fight them on it, you will be arrested for trespassing if they've told you to leave. Protection given to speech depends on the location. The First Amendment does not give citizens the right to exercise free speech rights on any government property at any time. That is very important. Frauditors don't seem to understand this, but it states it right here that the First Amendment does not give citizens the right to exercise free speech rights on any government property at any time. The states, no less than a private owner of property, get that? The state is the owner of the property and is considered the private owner of a company or of the property, has power to preserve the property under its control for the use to which it is lawfully dedicated. In other words, the courthouse is used for court things. The city hall is used for things within city hall, like water department and stuff like that. It's not hard to understand, but they won't get it, of course. The First Amendment does not guarantee access to property simply because it is owned or controlled by the government. Another big thing. The courts have adopted a forum analysis to determine when the government's interest in limiting the use of property outweighs the interest of those wishing to use the property for free expression. Thus, the extent to which the government can restrict expression depends on the nature of the forum. Strict scrutiny applies to any attempt to limit public expression at a traditional public forum or a designated public forum, but a policy limiting expression at a limited public forum or a non-public forum need only be reasonable. So in other words, yes, government buildings can place their policies and they can restrict freedom of speech. It's simple. A normal human being can read this and comprehend it and know exactly what it means. Frauditors, most of them understand it, most of them don't. The ones that do understand it, they just don't want their viewers to understand it, because then it kills their complete narrative. Okay, so that was again a breakdown of Poster 7 and explaining it in the most simple of ways I could think of explaining it. Like I said, I've done it before, but I wanted to add a couple more of those things in there, like the disturbance, because that's very important. The only reason I decided to do this was because, well, there's so many new frauditors popping up. Some of them, they don't even bother to even record Poster 7. But then there was the one frauditor that I seen last week when I watched her video. She went to the wrong section of Poster 7, assuming that that gave her the right to record. So that's why I wanted to remake Poster 7 video. And it's not gonna register with any of the frauditors, even though I do believe most of them understand it. They don't want their viewers to understand it, because then it kills their narrative and they're not going to make any money on it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Be safe. See you guys next time.